Well, hey, what's going on, guys? It is Dave Beaver, Pastor Dave Beaver to some of you. And tonight we're doing something a little different, a little special grappling with life edition. And for those of you who are new or haven't ever watched this show, whether you catch it live or you catch it later, it's pretty simple. Grappling with Life is a show that is designed to help encourage and inspire people through other people's stories. You know, no matter who you are, whether you are a professional athlete, a hobbyist, whether you grapple, wrestle, do jujitsu, martial arts, every person I know is grappling with life. Literally, every single person I know is grappling with something. They're going through something, relationships, work, career, education. And grappling with life is just something that we all have to face and deal with. So I like to bring people on here and hear their stories and some of their encounters and some of the things they've gone through. And so without further ado, tonight, my very special guest is my own son. This is Uriah Beaver. He is 10 years old. So Uriah, thank you for joining the show tonight. And this kind of happened in a kind of unique way. So how are you tonight, dude?
Good. I'm good.
Good, man. You know, Josiah, or Uriah, I called you Josiah. That's your brother. Uriah, we did this kind of on the fly tonight because of some conversations that you and I had here today. And I was just really encouraged by you and inspired by your just perspective and your attitude. And I thought it'd be really cool just to give you an opportunity to maybe inspire and encourage other people. You know, no matter how old we are, if we have something to say, there's people that are willing to listen. And sometimes in this world, adults just do all the talking. And sometimes we overlook and we miss the incredible things that young men and young women have to say. And so I was really inspired by some of the stuff that you had to say here tonight. And so let's just start with you're a 10-year-old boy and you lost your dog. We lost a family member yesterday. It was a pretty hard day yesterday. And we're going to talk about some of the hope and that you talked about and found tonight. But let's just talk a little bit about that, man. Like, you know, it was a hard day for the family. Losing Esther. She's a beautiful girl and she's been with you your whole life. And yesterday, you know, she crossed the Rainbow Bridge. So let's just talk a little bit about that, man. What was that like as you've kind of encountered losing someone that you love, maybe for the first time in your life?
It was very sad. And I cried a lot.
Yeah. And tears are good, man. I think grown men cry. That's a good thing. I know in this family, no matter how tough you are and no matter how tough you are out in the world, tears are a gift from God. Sometimes it lets us just purge our soul. And I cried a lot too. So don't you know it's okay to cry and kind of washes our soul. And it's okay to be sad and hurt. And Esther was one of those good dogs as we looked at pictures all day yesterday and again tonight and throughout today. There was a lot of good moments. You know, she looked after people when they were sick and should definitely be missed. But what was yesterday, one of the good things is we all got to be with her. You know, we all got to put our hands on her and we all got to be with her as she passed from this life to the next. And I know that was comforting to her. You know, she showed a lot of love to us, and I'm sure she felt incredibly loved in that moment. And we all shed a lot of tears yesterday. Let me ask you, man, yesterday you felt really bad, right? You were feeling really, really poor, and the day seemed like it got worse when your sister got hurt at volleyball. And man, it's like we carried the dog into the vet, and then we carried your daughter carried my daughter and your sister into the hospital. And it was a tough day, but like, you kind of felt hopeless. You felt sad. You felt like really exhausted and worn out. And then today, even though we had a lot going on, we went to jiu-jitsu. And you said something to me driving home that was really just encouraging. When we came home, what did you say? Share with everyone else what you said about jiu-jitsu.
I said we were driving home in the car, and I said that yesterday was just crazy, and I feel like when I went to jiu-jitsu, it just kind of made me feel a lot better, and it like healed me in a way.
Yeah, dude, there's something to that. Like, it's exactly what you said. You said there was kind of like a healing and a hopeful feeling you had when you're jiu-jitsu, and you got to be there with your friends, and you got to roll. Coach Ben did a great job tonight. Had a lot of kids there. Did an awesome job coaching, and you were in that class, and I've told this to people a lot too, and that's why I wanted to share it. I loved your story. I loved your perspective, because sometimes when you get on the mats of jiu-jitsu for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever you're rolling, everything kind of goes away. You're just thinking about, you know, passing the guard or taking the back or not getting submitted. And it's so freeing, for me at 44, but then to even hear that in your own way described tonight at 10, that we had a pretty chaotic day, but you found so much kind of peace and healing, hope by being with your friends, just doing jujitsu tonight. And that's what I think is encouraging, because you found something that, like, I don't force you to go to jujitsu. You're coming to me and you're asking, hey, are we going to jujitsu? Are we going yet? Are we going to practice? And I love that, because that's something that you can love and I can love individually, but we get some of the same things from it. I find great peace and health and harmony there. And it was cool just to hear you share that tonight. Let me ask you this, Uriah. After going through a really hard day yesterday at 10 years old, what do you think you'll take from it going forward? Like yesterday was a tough day and you had a lot of hurt and tears and sadness. And how do you feel like that encounter, which was seemingly a negative encounter, how do you feel like that can help you moving forward in your life?
I feel like I mean, the more like dogs are gonna come and dogs are gonna go, and a lot of bad days are gonna happen. So I feel like I'll be able to learn how to handle them a lot more better than how I did.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you right now, though, buddy, I think you handled yesterday really well. Really well. I think you were very gracious and you were awesome, dude. I think you handled the adversity and your broken heart really, really well. And there's everything you did was spot on, bro. Tears are good, man. But you know what? I think you're exactly right. One thing I can tell you at 44, not just as your dad, I'm talking to you as the host of Grappling with Life. You're my special VIP guest tonight. Dude, good days come and bad days come, and good days go and bad days go, and people come and people go. And you're right, dogs come and dogs go. But if you take, just like you did yesterday, all of your experiences and all of your encounters in life, and you're in tune to them and you listen to them and you learn from them, then as you get older and as you have more experiences, you learn how to handle situations and circumstances just in a tremendous fashion. You know what I mean? And I thought you were pretty gracious and pretty awesome yesterday. And then how cool is it today that you were able to go and, have a place of just escape and relaxation, right?
Yeah.
Let me just ask you about jiu-jitsu. So you've been training jiu-jitsu. You're coming up on almost 3 years of jiu-jitsu, and you've competed a lot, and you train 2-3 times a week, and the gi, no gi. What's your favorite? Let's just talk about jiu-jitsu for a minute. What do you like about jiu-jitsu? What's your favorite submission?
There's a lot. I moved from armbar to Kimura.
So the Kimura, I like the Kimuras as well. Yeah, Kimuras and Darces, we like those. Let me ask you this: what's the position in jiu-jitsu you feel hopeless, you hate being there? So when someone gets you in a bad spot, what is that spot? And you go, oh man, I don't like to be here.
Not really. I mean, I feel like I'm good from all positions that I get in.
I like the confidence. But there's nowhere like let me ask you, if someone is on your back or if they're mounted you don't feel any stress. You just like, whatever it is, what it is.
Yeah, I can just be like, okay, they did this, so I'll find a way to escape.
I like it. That's because you have great coaches. That's Coach Michael and Coach Avery and Coach Ben. They're giving you the tools to feel confident from everywhere. So I like it. Maybe I'll be that confident someday too. Your favorite position is, or your favorite submission is the Kimura. And what's your what do you think is the hardest submission for you to hit? What one's tough for you?
There's a lot. Say arm bars sometimes, because it's just so annoying when people grab their own wrist. And when they grab their own wrist, it takes forever to peel it off and then go. And they immediately, once you peel it off, they just immediately go right back on.
Right back on. Well, we'll have to teach you how to thread the leg through, and we'll teach you how to go from the arm bar into some triangle attacks from there. That's maybe we should work on in the basement, and give you some more options. But Dude, so I just love this. I titled this quick little show here tonight. 10-year-old boy loses a dog, finds hope through jujitsu. I just think that's awesome. And again, I wanted to share that tonight because that's what you shared with me. And that made, as your dad, I was like, yo, that's what's up. Like that was encouraging. There's two things in my life that I've passed on to others, and that's faith and violence, Jesus and jujitsu. We talk about that a lot here, and I know there's a lot of people out there that watch the show and Jesus ain't your thing. Okay, fine. We treat everybody with respect, no matter who they are. We're going to treat them with dignity and respect, no matter if they're color, creed, race, religion. That's not it. But for me and my household, it is Jesus over everything, right? And that's cool. That's who we are. And we find a great deal in that Jesus and jiu-jitsu. And so tonight, man, I mean, I know where you are in your faith, and you have a pretty expensive knowledge of your Bible from school and life growing up here. But it was just really cool, man, to hear your perspective on jiu-jitsu tonight from the backseat of the car driving home. And I want that to be able to inspire other people. It doesn't matter, like if they're 10 years old. I think people should give jiu-jitsu a try. It's a really good exercise, but it's really good for your mind. It's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. It's dynamic for your life. I said something very similar to Coach Brett Boggs when I was leaving. I said, man, I needed this tonight. Like, I just feel back on track, after some hard drilling and then some hard rounds. It's just, I needed that tonight myself. So it's just super cool to hear you say that. Let me ask you this, Uriah. Like, if you could say anything to people out there listening tonight, even if they might hear this in 6 months from now, if you could say anything to people from your own head and heart at 10 years old that would inspire them and encourage them, what would you say, brother? What would you have to say?
Just keep rolling no matter what happens. Even if you lose someone that you really love, just keep rolling and you'll start to feel better the more you go through.
Just keep rolling. Life goes on, right? We got up this morning and we started a new day. And here we are. The day has come and gone. And tomorrow will be a new day. And we'll just keep rolling. Roll through it. The good, the bad, the indifferent. We just got to be focused on the future. Keep moving forward. Is that what I heard you say?
Yep.
Dig it. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for hanging out tonight and doing this. I'm sure that you want to go get some dinner. Are you hungry? Worked up an appetite? Well, listen, man, thank you for taking a few moments and jumping on here, being vulnerable, sharing your story. I'm sure that someone will watch this tonight. They'll be inspired by the hope that you found on the mats tonight. That's awesome. Jiu-jitsu is a place that can provide some healing and some hope for people who are looking for it. And I'm glad, my man, that you found it there as well. It's a good deal. It's a family thing, right? So we will roll for it and roll forward. Cool. Hey, man, I love you, buddy. And we'll see you here in a little bit. And you have a great night. All right, bub? All right. Hey, if you're watching out there tonight, thanks for joining. Just a quick little fun show. It was a tough day yesterday with losing a loved one, our dog. We don't treat her as a dog. She was a family member. To be honest with you, we probably like and love her better than, I don't know, a lot of people I've met in this world. But, man, today was a good day. We're a day of health and healing and moving forward. So let's keep it rolling. Be inspired. Listen to your kids. Listen to children. Doesn't matter how young they are. Don't bypass them. Don't overlook them. Listen, there's a lot of wisdom through the mouths of babes. So listen to what they have to say, man. They might just pick you up today, inspire you, encourage you, keep you on track, get you going, get you rolling. Let's go.